A campaign pressure point as Democrats wrestle with whether to save or change their party's nominee. Today, with a new ad, the Biden campaign looking to calm a crisis over his halting debate performance that rattled many Democrats.
I know I'm not a young man, but I know how to do this job.
First Lady Jill Biden on the cover of Vogue, where she says they will not let those 90 minutes define the 4 years he's been president. We will continue to fight. The president has been at Camp David. Multiple sources say some family members expressed deep frustration with advisors over debate preparations, a criticism voiced today by some elected Democrats.
I think he probably could get better advice in terms of how to prepare and present himself to the American people.
A source familiar with the president's mood after the debate describes him as humiliated, lacking confidence, and painfully aware of the debate's impact. White House officials said they expect to add interviews and public events to increase the president's visibility. But doubt and worry remain about risk to other races. One House Democrat telling NBC News, "I think everyone wants to see House swing district polling and then make a decision. That has to be the firewall." Biden campaign officials note that if the president did step aside, control of his campaign war chest and operation would go only to the vice president. Any other contenders would start at zero. Tom?
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.